Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Week 8 predicting Tranquility. Oh my god, I have the Twitch open. I gotta mute that real quick. Sorry. Um, little scuffed as always. My name is Nerfed. Today I'm joined by some familiar faces. If you've been watching more than 5 minutes, Belzy and Ryan joining me here tonight. How's it going, guys?
It's going all right.
Yeah.
Just came off the Iris podcast, and now the layout looks the exact same, except just replace Thea with Nerfed, and you pretty much have that. That's it.
Yeah,
I
we
was like,
just
well, we both have different shirts though. It looks like.
did you two actually
Mm,
change in between?
did you?
I took my hoodie off. I got
Oh,
a little
Okay,
little
I
toasty.
kept the same shirt. I didn't change yet.
that'd
I
be so.
can.
That'd be a good bit. But um, so tonight we're going to be looking at all the matches. Every single team, every single match is going to get some spotlight. Pick'ems style drafts are out, or forms are out in the live content discussion chat. Uh, very low amount last week. I think there were only like between 10 and 15 predictions last week, which is a very abnormally low number. So make sure to get them in. We get like 30 viewers per for these, so definitely at least 30 people who know it exists. So yeah, get your predictions in. Um, Honestly, I got nothing else, so we can just dive straight into the first poll. Ryan,
Oh, I am going into the first pool. Whew, I didn't realize that.
my bad.
It's all
Happens
good.
to the best of us. Don't worry.
All right, coming in with the Harmony EU, we have Asir versus Hope Guardians. We have all of us predicting that Hope Guardians are going to win this. I think it's going to go map 5. Bowsy giving the 4-0 to Hope Guardians. Asir 3-1 for Nerf. We have Celsius 522 versus Dino Nuggies. We're all in agreement right there that we think Dino Nuggies are going to take that 3-1. And the other map for Brig Divers, and that they're all going to be 4-0s at the moment, so we're not going to talk about those.
Yeah, I don't believe we'll have a replacement. Unfortunately, down to 5 for Harmony EU. So
And then there was five.
we just got two matches now. So yeah, only these two. I don't think anything too particularly out of the ordinary. I think all of those preds are pretty normal. I wish I could predict this year, right? But sadly, I cannot ever.
Yeah, I that's what I as I said during the Irish podcast, I had really high hopes for them. I mean, I'm really hoping this would be a close match, but as things have been going, I think it's going to go a little looser, but more heavily on the Hope Guardian side.
Yeah, I think both of these two matches are pretty standard. So let's just send it straight over to the NA side of things. Our first match here is Geometric versus Insidious. I and Bowsy have 4-0 in favor of Geo. Ryan making it all the way to 5, but still in favor of Geo. Our second match is the Galactic Penguins versus Ace High. Oh my god. I just realized I was still in the in my team's VC for scrim. Uh, and I accidentally undeafened. All right. Second match is Galactic Penguins versus Ace High. 3-1 for me in favor of the Penguins, and Ryan and Bowsy go into 5, still in favor of the Penguins, however. And the last match is 3.5 versus Ragnarok Freya. We got 3-1 for me and Ryan in favor of 3.5. However, Bowsy, I'm glad I have you two here because you two went for some of the upsets I was not bold enough to predict, and I very much wanted to, but props to you guys for having the guts to do it. Bowsy going 3-1 in favor of Freya here. Um,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
so yeah, walk me through that.
yeah, I think Ragnarok Freya definitely waking up so far this season. They were winless heading into Overwatch 2, or heading into Stage 2 at least. But a big win last week over Chicago Mafia, which obviously was in a very tough pool. They were in that RMA pool, which had a lot of high ranking teams, but still, a win is a win. And when you win against Chicago Mafia to start off stage number 2, I mean, that's big for Ragnarok Freya, a team that prior to that match, if I can try to do the math here really quickly, they only won, I mean, they won 6 maps prior to that match. So,
Yeah.
really, really good start to their stage. And honestly, I think they could continue this momentum and try to get a win over 3.5. as they continue their run through elimination pool.
Yeah, I think throughout stage one, Freya were on the cusp of winning multiple times, but their schedule got a little harder as the stage went on.
Their first two matches were map 5 losses,
Yeah,
so
so
if
they
that
were,
tells you anything.
yeah, they were right there and just could not get it done. And I mean, I thought with the loss of Winter, who many thought was like Freya's best player, I thought that was kind of it for Freya this season. But a big win last week against the Mafia, so I'm definitely excited to see what they can do. Like I said, I wasn't bold enough to predict them this week, but maybe next time,
And
because I have high hopes for them.
And I think 3.5 can be sneakily good. I
Hmm.
think they have some weird potential that they have. Not sure what the potential is, but it's a weird potential. Let's just say that.
I
The
mean, they
potential is there.
they took Ace High to five. I mean,
Eh,
Ace High kind of played to their competition, but I mean, 3.5 going to five against Ace High. That's still a really good result. Moving over to the Orem B side of things. What do we have there, Bowsy?
All right, I'm pretty sure this is the one with Big Bang and Chrysalis,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just making sure. Okay, so our first match in that tier is Big Bang Buccaneers versus Chrysalis. Everybody here on the desk is in favor of the Big Bang Buccaneers. I'm the only person who predicts a sweep. Nerfed and Matt Ryan both predict Chrysalis taking a map. Next up is Milliwatt Gaming versus Narwhal Connects, where we have some disconnect. Me and Ryan think it's going to be in favor of Milliwatt 4-0 and 3-2, or 3-2 and 4-0 respectively. But Nerfed is on the side of Narwhal Connects taking it in a map 5 situation. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes there. And our final match in our final match in this scoreboard section is 07 Titanium versus the Chicago Mafia. It's Ryan and Nerfed that are in the favor of the Chicago Mafia, 3-2 and 3-1 respectively. But I am going for a map 5 win for 07 Titanium this week because I mean I'm gonna make the case for it right now. They definitely had a very strong showing last week, getting another win, and I think that they definitely could be a underdog heading through this elimination pool, just like Ragnarok Freya.
Yeah, I think they're kind of coming online at a great time. I think Overwatch 2 is really given. We've seen a lot of the Elim Pool teams kind of get the buff that they needed, I think, and that's definitely a really good sign of things to come for those teams.
Definitely.
I want to make my case though for Narwhal here because I think that this match is very interesting because if you had asked me a week ago, I would have said, oh, Milova, easy. But they went to it was a 2-1-1 score against Chrysalis. They've done this in the past as well against Mafia. I think they went to five against Duckies. This, I mean, I just said that Ace High plays to their competition. What the hell are Milovat? They are like every single time it feels like it's so close, except for that match against Strix. Um, every single time it feels like it's so close, and I think Narwhal are a team that can kind of capitalize on the faults of the other team. I mean they played some kind of also really close matches in against Flashbacks and Fahrenheit. So I think that this is Narwhal's week to get the dub. I have faith in them to get the upset here.
It's worth noting that Big Bang Buccaneers have gone to map 5 3 times, and the third time was up against Narwhal Connects. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
and Narwhal Connects for 2 weeks in a row, I'm pretty sure they've been to map 5. Yes,
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row they've been to map 5. So
Mhm.
Does that
Put
tell
getting
you
it
that
again.
they just can't seal the deal, or does that mean that they can't just put teams
Well,
away?
one was in Overwatch 1 and one is in Overwatch 2. So they could really be one and different. They could not be
Mhm.
any more
That's true.
different.
Yeah.
But
But
we'll
I
see how
mean
they do.
that's three matches where they're just one map away from it being their series. If you count that week one match against Flashbacks as well, throw that in there. So I
Yeah,
mean you never know.
that's in there
I
too.
I think you can kind of say for these three teams that we kind of mentioned as well as Ace High, I think you can kind of say that where it's just either way for any of those teams.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
Moving over to Indigo A, however, what do we have there, Ryan?
So moving over to Indigo A, which hopefully I have this right one, is X Kusagi versus Koala Kings. So we're all in favor of Koala Kings. Nerf is the one thinking that they're going to win 4-0. Bowsy and I thinking that um, Kusanagi is going to take off a map. We have Strix versus Flashbacks. Again, we're all thinking Flashbacks are going to win that 3-1. And then coming into, we have the Fighting Potatoes versus Obfuscation. So we have both Bowsy and Nerf coming in with 3-1 on the side of Fighting Potatoes, and you have myself coming in with 3-1 Obfuscation. Wait, do I
Definitely.
have that backwards?
No, you
No,
have
you
it
got it
right.
right.
Okay.
I mean, leave it to the team owner to predict the team to win.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
Yeah.
I can plead a case for that, 100%.
Mhm.
So they look against '07, and I was there during that game. Watching. So they actually played, I think, their best game of Overwatch against '07 Titanium. They kept every single map very, very close. They had a very dominant win on Circuit Royale where they held them without them being able to touch. I think Overwatch 2 is definitely doing very good things about them, and I've been in a couple of their scrims lately, and they've scrimmed other teams in Tranquility, and they've been actually doing very well against them. So they're very much, I think, going to be surprising people soon.
I just want to throw this out there. Koala Kings don't lose a map for the rest of the season. All right, no rebuttal from you two. Not no, not
Hey,
the rest
Whoa!
of the season. The
that's a
regular
that's a
season
bold
maybe.
take worthy of Iris.
It.
That's an Iris worthy
Ugh.
bold take
No,
right
they're
there.
not losing a map here. They'll definitely, I think, the flashbacks match will be closer.
In bef-
But I think that they keep up their undefeated streak for now.
so I will say that in before Koala Queens lose for nothing.
Or they lose the first map, and then your entire claim is just
That's true.
your entire claim will be obfuscated.
Aha!
Moving over though to Indigo B, we have Chinchillas versus Clairvoyance. Me and Belsey going for a 4-0 in favor of Clairvoyance. I think that they're definitely a team that's on the up and up. I'm very excited to see what this team has to offer in Overwatch 2. But Ryan went for a 3-2 in favor of Chinchillas there. Which is pretty interesting. The second match is FBRD versus Fahrenheit. I thought that this was pretty standard picking Fahrenheit here. Regardless of Twitter happenings. I went with 3-1 in favor of Fahrenheit. The other two went in favor of FBRD. Whether or not they're taking that into account, we will never know. But yeah, I 3-1 and 3-2 respectively. So regardless of drama, let's not talk about that. What is your take here, Ryan, going with Chinchillas? Because they have had a rough season, I would say.
So now I'm looking at it. I think I actually put it backwards.
Oh.
I'll be 100 honest, but no. But even looking into it, I don't think Clairvoyance. I think last week going against Rubber Duckies, I expected them to do a little bit more. So they only got the 3-1 against Freya. There was a 3-1. They haven't really done anything crazy except for what '07, '07. So I think there's a chance that Chinchillas will be able to hold it close going into it.
Alright, yeah.
Chinchillas show up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
doesn't say.
true. We have not seen chinchillas in a minute. So.
They went to Marsupial and now they can't escape. Marsupial's keeping them hostage.
But yeah, we're not gonna talk about Fahrenheit right now.
I'd rather not. I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to know.
Yeah, it's we won't talk about them. So let's move over to EU Discord side of things. Balzi, take it away.
All right, starting off with our first match, which is our feature match on Thursday, Deathwatch versus Berserk. Everybody on the desk here is predicting a 4-0 win for Berserk. Same thing with our other match, Feeders United versus Cam, 4-0 across the board for Feeders United. Moving over to the other side, the other two teams in Discord tier EU, Feeders Divided versus Paid to Win. We all have Feeders Divided winning 3-1. Finally, our final match of Discord Tier EU is Mythical Kitsune versus Dragon's Aura. Ryan has a 3-2 win for Dragon's Aura. Nerfed has a 3-1 win for the Dragons, but I have a 3-2 win for the Mythical Kitsune because I just like Mythical Kitsune more. I'm just gonna be honest. I like Mythical Kitsune. I also think they've been a little bit more consistent this season than Dragon's Aura. And also, hopefully, they have that Kariko buff with Kariko hopefully coming into play this week.
But Bowser, I think you can agree with me. I think it's both teams. It could really easily go either way with that match. I mean, they've both kind of proven themselves. They've also kind of unproven themselves at times.
Yeah, these two teams are definitely vying right now for that number 4. on the Iris, we've seen them both at the number 4 slot and nowhere higher, I'm pretty sure. Maybe third place from Mythical Kitsune, but still, they've mainly stayed around the fourth and fifth spot, so I could definitely see this match going either way.
Yeah, I think Feeders United and Deathwatch are kind of by far and away on top. Then it's Feeders Divided at third, and then another tier break, and it's these two. So,
Yeah.
definitely interesting to see how this match goes because I think this is going to be one of the closer matches. I think these two teams are very close together. So, moving back over to the NA side of things, what do we have, Ryan, for Discord Orem A?
Okay, so going in, we have Chicago Deep Dish versus Joey Esports. Nerf and I thinking the 3-1. Bowsy thinking the upset, Joey 3-2. Going into it, MI7 versus Doodles. We're all in agreement, 3-1 on the side of MI7. And coming to the last match, we have Cosmic Castaways versus Vampires. We have myself thinking that the Vampires are going to win 3-1, and you guys both think Cosmic Castaway is going to take it away at 3-1 and 3-2.
Kind of sold my soul to the devil here with
Hmm.
Doodles. I don't like predicting against them. I know you don't either, Balzi.
Nope.
But
Nope.
I don't know. I don't know. If there
I
was
think it's the
I
right
swear
call
to
this
God.
year. I think it's
I
the
swear
right
to
call
God.
this week.
I
if there
swear
was
to God, if they win now, then I'm done. I'm never coming back on predicting if they win. I'm
it,
done.
I don't ever want to predict against Doodles, but I mean against MI7, they've been at the top for a while. I think a slip up against Joey doesn't say too much. Um, yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
see. I'd definitely love to come back next week and it's Doodles. I would be in a lot of pain, but I would love for it to happen. And then the other one, Joey versus Deep Dish. I don't know why. Because Joey getting that win against MI7 is that's very good showing for them. And honestly, I was very back and forth with this. But I just think Deep Dish. Um, they've been consistent all season towards the top, at the top, and I think that they're going to continue their dominance in Overwatch 2. So.
Honestly, I feel like yes, Deep Dish are the currently only undefeated team
Mhm.
in Discord Tier NA. But I mean, you look at their season and you look at the teams that they're facing off that they faced off against:
Ah,
Monarch, Galactic Gibbons, Hammerhead, which they got a 3-1, which they lost a map to, Ragnarok Loki, and Cosmic Castaways that they lost a map to.
but here's the thing. I obviously think Gibbons are good. Beyond that,
Yeah, I mean, I will argue the Gibbons are good right now with Sticko in the main tank lineup, but I don't think Gibbons are really that good in stage one. I feel like Gibbons are definitely improving now in stage two with Overwatch 2 coming out. I do not think that their stage one performance is going to be reflective of how good the Gibbons are going to be. And I honestly feel like Deep Dish got a very easy hit there with Galactic Gibbons not being able to be at that full strength to start off the season in week two. So
that's
I
fair.
feel like Deep Dish have had a little bit too easy of a road, and now is when the crust is starting to get a little rocky, and I think they're going to start having a little bit of trouble moving forward, especially going up against Joey this week and MI7 after this. So
Mhm.
it's going to be interesting to see how Deep Dish are going to go. I don't think that they're like I don't think that this is going to be like I don't feel like that they're going to be like immediately slammed to the ground. That's why I have the 3-2 score line here, but I think moving forward, I think Deep Dish is going to start losing matches.
I
It's
think
very possible.
I think what gives me the edge for Deep Dish is I'm a lot higher on their teams that they played than most people because I think they played Loki in their prime, and I think that Hammerhead are also like a very slept on but solid team. I think that honestly they could be vying for that eighth spot in a week or two, just depending on how some of the matches go. Um, I don't. I think Deep Dish has had a moderately okay schedule. I mean, I think that they, besides Monarch and Castaways, every other match has been like a pretty okay team. Um, so I think that I don't know. It's Deep Dish are weird. Deep Dish are weird, but
I think
Never
if
count
deep
out Deep Dish.
yeah, I think if they
mhm.
come out and they actually play, they don't mess around, and they put Joey in the ground first map. I think Joey will just be done after that. I don't think they'll be able to keep up.
Yeah.
Maybe. It all depends on that first map. It all depends on how well Deep Dish are able to set the tempo starting out.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I think it'll
Um.
be close at least.
yeah, I think it'll definitely be close. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Moving over though to the NA Discord Aurum B, we have Ragnarok Loki versus Adelaide Eclipse. 1-3 for me and Ryan in favor of Adelaide, and then Balzi went for a 4-0. The second match is Hades versus Space Created. I was so torn on this one, but I had to give it to Space Created. Even though they lost Veli, I still think they'll be able to hold it together. All of us having 5, me and Bowsy going in favor of Space Created. Ryan went for Hades there. And then the final match is Poseidon versus Nemesis. Nemesis getting the 3-1 in my opinion, but Ryan and Bowsy have it going to 5. Still in favor of Nemesis there.
Yeah, Nemesis have been a weird team.
Mm-hmm.
I think this entire season, but they did get a big win last week in a map 5, so I think they can definitely do it again. And I mean, my Adelaide Eclipse. I mean, there isn't a lot to talk about apart from that Hades Space Created match, really, because I mean, both of those teams have shown to be extremely close this season, and
Oh,
there's no
there's
doubt that I
just
think either one of them could get the
Yeah,
win in that
they're
and
situation.
well,
both
that's
so up and down. They've had both
Yeah.
very high highs, both very low lows.
Mm-hmm.
I
yeah.
think
So
if
it's been
Hades
difficult.
hadn't lost to Upsilon a couple weeks ago, I would be much more confident in my answer, and it would probably be
Yeah.
Hades.
I think that definitely ruins confidence, but at the same time, Hades also beat Ragnarok Loki last
Mm-hmm.
week. But I mean, I have like some intel on what's going on with Loki and what's going on with that org, so that's probably why I kind of expected that. That's also probably why I chose my 4-0 sweep over Adelaide instead of giving Loki a map. But I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Hades definitely coming off of a big upset win. We'll see if they're able to keep that momentum going. I mentioned it
Yeah,
on the podcast. I think they definitely are a dark horse now.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the Veli leaving is a lot less than Abstract because I think Abstract was able to do so much for that team being on leave of absence. That's more of what I was worried about for Space Created than anything else.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think your
think.
top two. Yeah, I think your top two players on space are Keegs and Abstract, and now Abstract is gone, so now
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be very interesting to see how well Space Creator can do without one of their top two.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, this match majority of it comes down to how much those two losses have an impact on for Space Created. Um,
Mhm.
so we'll have to see. I could not predict this match accurately, but you know. Moving over to Discord Indigo A. This is the fun pool because this is where Ryan and I get to be biased.
And I have to comment on it. So,
Yup.
Ooh.
what a great pool I have to talk about. Galactic Gibbons versus Redacted. No surprise, Nerf picked Galactic Gibbons 3-1. No surprise, Ryan picked Redacted 4-0. I picked Galactic 3-2. Uh,
Would you
Traitor.
believe
I
it?
see how it is.
I'll get
Mm.
into that later. I love Redacted, but I'll get into that later. Moving on from that, Reminiscence versus Avalon. We all are in favor of Reminiscence. Me and Ryan 3-1. Nerf says 4-0, and then our final match, right here, or at least in this group, is Monarch versus Reckless Upsilon. Ryan is giving Monarch their first map win of the season, while me and Nerf are giving a 4-0 win to Reckless Upsilon. So, all right, let's talk about the obvious elephant in the room, or
Yeah,
the
you're the only
three
one I think who
elephants.
is qualified to talk about this.
Yeah, so I mean, Ryan mentioned on the podcast, Redacted did a really close performance up against Reminiscence, and they didn't have their full roster. But I still feel like Galactic Gibbons are starting to finally wake up with the rise of Overwatch 2. I think it's going to be a very close affair between both of these teams. Galactic Gibbons obviously a big win last week over Avalon, taking taking a big win there, showing how much they can be, how much prevalence they can have in Overwatch 2, and especially now being able to start Sticko 24/7 in every single map means that they're probably going to be very strong when it comes to Overwatch 2. But Redacted, on the other hand, they've had a lot of strong performers. I have constantly touted Turtle VP as an MVP caliber player. They've been really strong. They're definitely up for most improved, and they've really done a great job of being able to keep themselves, going through this. Again, very tough loss to Reminiscence, but that was without their full roster. So I could really see this going any way, honestly. But I went for the Galactic Gibbons just for the fact that they're going to have that iron fortitude in Sticko in the front line, and I think that they'll be able to win it out in a very, very close affair.
So And I'm excited to see, and Nerf, I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see Gambito versus Sticko in
Mhm.
that role. They play very similar
Mm.
characters,
Yeah.
very similar styles. Sticko's been around for a little bit. Gambito's fresh into this league, and he's been kind of proving himself a little bit.
What did you
So,
just call this?
hmm?
Tournament.
Did you just call
Tournament.
this
Sorry,
the L
tournament.
word?
I don't know what you're talking about. Love.
Thank you.
Um, Anyway, so coming in, I think that's going to be a great matchup to see the front lines going toe to toe with Gambito versus Sticko. When I'm going in, might be a throw, but we'll see.
I just think we got the double Overwatch 2 buff. I mean, I think that this team, I'm gonna pride myself a little bit on my ego, but like I kind of built this team to play for Overwatch 2 a little bit, just a little bit. But on top of that, I mean, the meta is just so in favor of us right now. Like, I mean, the Nagi's best character has always been her Sombra, and now that's broken as heck. Sticko on the Zarya and
Mm.
Diva, those are the two best tanks in my opinion right now. I mean, I think that this is just a meta that very heavily favors us. So I think this is when we're gonna thrive the most right now.
This is definitely gonna be a matchup between like every single player on every team. You're gonna have
Hmm.
Sticko versus Gambito, Turtle versus Nagi if Turtle's playing the Sombra, Mad versus It's Me Nugget or Squirtle Sergeant, Prime versus whoever the main support is for Galactic Gibbons. I apologize, I'm totally blanking out on it right now.
No,
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
clip that
Clem.
though and send it to him.
It's Clem. It's Clem,
It's
isn't it?
Clem, yeah.
It is Clem. Clem versus Prime, and is Widowmain your flex support starter now, or is you have another flex support player?
No, that was just for one map.
Okay, I'm trying to remember who your flex support is for Galactic
Oh, it's
Gibbons.
mad. It's mad.
Oh, it is Mad. I thought
Yeah.
Mad was the DPS. And
No.
who's your other DPS? Sime. It's
Bubbly.
gonna be Sime. I'm
This
We
sorry.
isn't
got.
looking good for the Galactic Gibbon stock. Bowsy
It
doesn't
is.
remember the players.
You know what?
I apologize.
Nah, who
It's gonna be
Megalol then
Sime
clip it and
versus
ship
Squirtle
it.
Sergeant. Sime versus Squirtle Sergeant is gonna be a good matchup to watch as well. But Mad versus
Jesky,
thank you,
you're
Cheska.
welcome.
I have very bad memory. I apologize to
There are
every
a
player I
lot
just
of
mentioned.
players in this
What?
tournament. It's hard to remember them all.
Come on, there's only
It
like what,
is.
like 250 players or something like that?
There's only
Probably
like
more than that.
70 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see all these one-on-one matchups and how they contribute to the team in general. I think it's gonna be one heck of a matchup to watch, though.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, I think we've talked enough about this match though. Um, got a little bit of our bias out. So I think we can move over then to the Discord Indigo B.
Into the unfun one. Now, so starting off, we have Hammerheads versus SEAL Team Spuds. We have Bowsy and myself taking 3-1 on the sides of Hammerheads. Nerf coming in with a close 3-2, giving it to SEAL Team Spuds. Next match, we have Thunder Duckies versus Adrenalines. We have Bowsy thinking that Thunder Duckies is going to come out on top of the 3-1. Me and Nerf going 3-1 and 3-2 respectively. And the last match, we have F214 versus no one. We all expected, yep, they're going to win 4-0 single handedly.
Yeah, the elusive Team 24. Um,
The
I
Team
so
24 paradox. It doesn't exist.
somebody should name a team Team 24 next season so that we can finally see Team 24 get some dubs.
I'm not going to lie, when that happened, I thought it was Team 24. Like I was like kept looking and I was like, where's the roster? Let's see, let's do. Nope, nothing.
um,
I'm so tempted to create a team called Bye Week.
oh, that'd be
but
so
Oh
good.
no.
there used to be a contenders team, so it technically existed, but that would be fun to have. But no, I'm obviously the most like interesting pick here, apart from the Hammerhead versus SEAL Team Spuds picks that both me and Ryan had. But I think Thunder Duckies are strong. I think they're pretty good this season. Adrenalines have had a lot of ups and down moments, but at the same time, Adrenaline's down moments have been very down.
Yeah.
Between I'm just looking at their results. Like between getting swept by Hammerhead, um, they lost to Avalon map 5. They lost to Doodles. They lost to Hades, which we've talked about how inconsistent Hades are. I think that Thunder Duckies could probably take advantage of Adrenalines this week. Adrenalines have been up and down. They're always inconsistent. I think that it's going to get the better of them when it comes to this matchup.
Yeah,
I'm just worried that their only win has been a 4-0 against Poseidon, and they did play Skillia. I think they're the only team that actually got to play them in the beginning of the season. But besides that, they haven't really shown a lot.
yeah.
Well, we'll
I
see
mean,
how
they
well
did
they
have a
do.
hard schedule. To be
They did.
fair, I mean, they
Yeah.
had Adelaide, MI7, and Reminiscence. That's not really matches you expect anybody to win. Um, so yeah, I think some tough matches for Thunder Duckies. I think this pool is so hard. Um,
Mm.
I don't know. I want to see Hammerhead win. I'm glad you guys went for that pick because I didn't have the courage to. Somewhere deep down, I just have a gut feeling about Spuds, even though I was talking up Hammerhead earlier. The other two teams I think are close. So I think this whole pool is just kind of it's hard to predict. It's very hard to predict. I think we got some question marks definitely to figure out for these teams.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. Moving up though to the Trans A pool, we have Amnesia versus the Guangzhou Gangsters. Amnesia or Guangzhou finally lost some map last week, so it is free reign to give them map losses now. So me and Ryan going for a 3-1 in favor of Guangzhou Gangsters. Bowsy still giving them the 4-0. However, next match is Sydney Sunsets versus the Decapitators. Everybody in favor of decaps here. I think it's going to be a 3-1. However, Ryan and Bowsy going to 5 again, so that would be 2 weeks in a row for the decaps. And then the last match is Lijiang Legion versus Oath. We've seen this match before, so I went with the repeat of Lijiang Legion getting the win here, 3-1. Ryan and Bowsy, however, 3-1 and 3-2, respectively, in favor of Oath here. So
Ryan, do you have any comments on that, Ryan, or should I should I make the case that I want to
So,
make?
so about that, I think Oath have been looking better as time has come. So I think they started out rough. I mean, they were a Discord team running into Trance team. I think that was a very rough shock for them at the beginning of the season. But I think even though they've gone 0-4 the past 2 weeks, and then even coming in against Death Cards, another 0-4. I still think that they've shown improvement as time has gone by. With to me, Lijiang Legion hasn't seen that as much. Um, that's kind of my thought process following them along through the season.
Gonna say right now, when before the season began, Oath were playing in the North American Community Cup, and there was this player that I was taking a lot of notice on when Oath were there. Their name is Hurricane. They are a Genji one trick, and what hero is really good in Overwatch 2? Mm-hmm.
that's
Ba-
fair.
See where I'm going
ba-
at? I
Bastion.
leave, but no.
He's too strong.
I think Hurricane's Genji might be making a difference here, and I think Hurricane definitely could lead this team to victory. I think if Oath were doing better, I think Hurricane is up for best flex DPS consideration right now. Um, just because Genji is so prevalent in Overwatch 2's meta, Genji was the only DPS hero to receive zero nerfs, zero changes at all. So Genji was strong in Overwatch 1 to an extent. Now he's super strong in Overwatch 2. Hurricane has been playing Genji since the beginning, and I think Hurricane's Genji is going to be the linchpin that is going to bring the victory here against the Lijiang Legion, and I think it's going to be the one that helps them try to get that victory. So yeah, I mean, we all love Oath here in Trank, and I think this week is going to finally be that week that they get their Transcendence tier
Here's open. I want to see it just as much as the next person, but
win.
I don't know. I just we've seen this match before, so I'm a sucker for patterns. Um, I'm gonna keep going until it ends. Moving over to the B pool though, unless you guys any final words on that or. All right, we're good to
Mm.
send it then.
All right.
What do we have here, Bowsy?
All right, we're starting off with the rematch with do I say this name and risk a stream disconnect? Yes, I do. Devil Dukes versus Arctic
The
Foxes. For a second, I thought you cut out there. But our currently Nerf says it's a 3-2 win for the Arctic Foxes, getting their revenge on Devil Dukes. Me and Ryan, however, think that Devil Dukes get their revenge at 3-1. Then you have Frost Fisher versus Reckless Sigma. Nerfs and Ryan think it's going to be Reckless Sigma winning 3-1. I am the opposite. I think it's going to be Frost Fisher winning 3-1. And finally, we have the Palm Beach Poggers versus the Billings Boomers. Uh, Nerf is in favor of the Billings Boomers, as am I. I think I predict a sweep. Nerf predicts 3-1, but Master Ryan thinking 3-1 for the Palm Beach Poggers after getting their first win last week against the Lijiang Legion. So
I so badly wanted to predict it as well, but I can't.
it's not in my gut. I don't think Palm Beach
Yeah,
is still Overwatch 2 ready. Um, I do want to hear your claim, Nerfed, about
yeah.
your Arctic Fox's Devil Dukes prediction.
So I mean, now that I'm not in Fox anymore, it's not bias. Officially not bias. But
There you go.
I think personally, I've seen Devil Dukes stay inconsistent, whereas I think Arctic Foxes have slowly been climbing, where they were already in a pretty okay spot. So I'm willing to give them the dub again here, even though I think Devil Dukes, I don't know, I think that they've just been too inconsistent for my liking, even with a 4-2 record.
See, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure when it came to that first match, there was a notable player on the side of Arctic Foxes. I'd have to check the match sheets, and I might actually be able to right now. Was that week 3 that they faced off? That
I think
was.
so, yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
week
check
3.
real quick. Yes, there was a very notable player on the side of Arctic Foxes. Some people may have heard of them. Their name is Scene.
Mhm.
Scene is the coach of Arctic Foxes. They were ringing that week, and they were able to score the victory. Apathy's pick for best transcendence tier coach, and I think Scene is the reason why they won against the Devil Dukes. What player did they get rid of before stage number 2?
It is Scene, yeah, but Scene's washed. I'll admit that.
Okay,
Bold.
if Nerf says that Scene is washed, then we're gonna assume that whatever claim I just made is irrelevant. I think Scene was the deciding factor in that match. In stage 1, I think unless Scene is ringing again, which I find very unlikely, I think that Devil Dukes are going to be winning this matchup.
I love you, Scene. I'm sorry, but no, it was definitely good for him to be on the team. I think, especially when they were having off tank struggles. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I like the Foxes. I know their roster pretty well. And I've seen them improve, and I think that they're gonna keep going up. I think that is their trend for this season.
As long
Also,
as they keep consistency, I think that's the hardest for
Yeah.
them.
yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I'm legally supposed to say the only reason I predicted Frost Fisher is because Lars is my sleep paralysis demon. So
That's fair.
technically, he's all of ours here at Tranquility. Do not close your eyes when you know Losh is in your backline.
uh, the final pool we have though, Ryan, what do we have for the C pool?
And he always got to do this to me. So going into the C pool, we have 413 Catalyst versus Culture. We're all expecting a good map 5 victory going to Culture. Coming in, we have Krabby Crabbers versus Classified. You guys are both predicting that Krabby Crabbers are going to win.
Crab
I'm there thinking
Nation.
Classified. Oof.
Here we go again.
I know. And then coming in, the Death Cards. Somehow, I guess we all predicted that they're going to win against Team Buy. So I guess that's a good pick.
Yeah, I mean I'm on the Crab Nation hype train. That they are looking good with Smokey in the lineup.
Smokey, I feel like was the carry on Chicago deep dish. And while we didn't see a lot of him in the feature match, I still think Smokey can help bring this team to victory mentally and also if he's playing in the game.
Mhm.
I was saying I'm on the other side, which I went over during the Iris. Is again, I get to see Classified. I see they're putting in the work. They're scrimming every single day now. they brought in their coach to join part of the thing. So they're coming in as a brand, like a new tank player. So him and Wayward are very complement each other with who they play. Um, I think that's the sleep that you're looking at. That I think they, even with Smokey on Krabby Crabbers, I think it's still going to be a classified game.
So
Hmm.
I'm not gonna make you talk about the inner workings of your team. But I mean, it seems like from looking at the roster transactions, Trans NA chat, classified kind of just went, and
I
there goes
mean,
half the
I,
roster.
I mean,
So
I said it myself in that chat. They just declassified two of their players. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
Uh,
the two players they left, they weren't playing with the team, so
oh,
they actually haven't been really scrimming with the team. They haven't been playing in the matches. So Classified picked up Clock to replace Yang a while ago, and then Mormon was the one stepping in with Merritt being dropped out.
okay then. So
hmm,
maybe
So
not as big of an impact as I thought. Um,
yep.
yeah,
but still Crab Nation. Crab Nation supreme. So that will
all hail crab.
all hail the Crab Nation.
So and I was saying, I think you guys are sleeping on the dominant 4-0 victory versus Culture last week compared to the beginning of the year where they went to map 5 against them, if I remember correctly.
Well, you know who else I think is going to 4-0 culture? It's Crab Nation. Um, so,
Hmm.
um, with that though, we have gone through all of the matches. So let's take a look at the predictions for this week. So for this week, the actually fourth slot was a tie between the Galactic me and Bernie 50 each. Um, the Galactic, I don't know. He's a coach. I'm a manager, but whatever. Galactic staff. Then we have Wooly in third place with 52 points. Bowsy getting 53 for second, and Capital is just he's untouchable. Honestly, 55 points. I think he's been first 6 out of the 7 weeks. And I mean, going into the overall, we're gonna kind of see a little bit more of that. Fifth
Great,
place is Yeti.
great.
Yeah, Capital on top. What a surprise. But fifth place is Yeti with 368. Fourth place is Bernie with 373. Then myself at 383. Bowsy in second with 387. And by far and away, it's Capital. Oh, and he's back on. He's back on decaps.
He's back on decaps.
I don't. Oops. Um, we we saw some roster transactions inadvertently happen a couple weeks ago. Didn't didn't mean to send you to another team, Cap. I'm sorry. Um, that would be twice this season. Which was it decaps last time as well?
I think it was Oath last
Oh,
time,
it was Oath.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. But with that out of the way and Capital on top per usual, that is everything. Um, so looking at the feature matches this week, just a quick reminder, we have um on Tuesday we do not have actually a Harmony tier feature match yet. Harmony EU that is.
I
But
heard
later
they're
in the day,
working on one.
yeah,
But
we'll get one maybe. Um,
check the broadcast. Check the broadcast. The broadcast schedule channel
mhm.
tomorrow.
Yep, there should be something hopefully. But matches we do have is later that day Harmony NA feature match of Milovot versus Narwhal Con X at 9 EST. And then on Wednesday we have the Transcendence feature match Decaps versus the Sydney Sunsets. One that we all thought was very close, so definitely a match to watch. That is at 9 EST on Thursday or Wednesday. Sorry. The Discord EU feature match on Thursday at 9. Is it CET? Or I don't even remember what the time zone
It's
is.
Central European time, so I think it's CET. I
Alright.
believe outside of daylight saving time is
Sounds right.
CEST.
Okay. So, 9 CET or CEST, one of those two, is Berserk versus Deathwatch. And then the final match is the NA feature of Space Created versus Hades. Another one that we all thought was very,
Gonna
very
say
close.
Yeah, that's the
Hmm.
match. If anyone out there wants to watch, go watch that one.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
think most of these we covered pretty in depth. Besides the Berserk versus Deathwatch match, which I think is pretty
It's hard.
pretty.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of easy to say because Berserker not doing that hot.
Yeah, and Deathwatch definitely are. Um,
A little bit.
yeah. So those are the featured matches this week. Any final thoughts from my two analysts?
You were trying to come up with a phrase for you and Bernie. Is it safe to call you the Galactic Zookeepers?
Yes, it is. Yes, it most certainly is. Thank you, Balzi.
I, I was trying to think of something, and I don't think I can beat that. So
No, you
I think that's a good
cannot.
note to end on.
So the Galactic Zookeepers in fourth and fifth place respectively this week, and then third and fourth for the overall. So good shit, us. But my name has been Nerfed, joined by Ryan and Balzi. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Later.